We are back, baby.
Is that hope I see peeking through the clouds there in Edmonton on a Friday night? It better be for both of these teams. Definitely for the Argos at 2-7. It feels like tonight, if they don't win, their season is over. But Cody Fajardo and Keon Julian Grant, they went back at it in Montreal, and now it feels like Edmonton has hope again. It's Friday night.
The Elks have life, and the big reason why they have life is this man, Cody Fajardo, won his first game as an Elks starting quarterback last week. Can he continue that streak tonight?
I think the Argos have been pleased with what they got for their backup quarterback. I don't know if Nick hasn't pleased with his protection. This offensive line is going to help Nick Arbuckle get the ball down the field.
And this man right here, you know what you call him? A baller. He just happens to stand beside the quarterback. If you need him to run, he'll do it. If you need him to catch, he'll do it. He's going to ball out tonight, that's for sure.
Shabba.
Maybe the one thing that was most disappointing last week for the Argos in a game they needed to win after being up 22-1, Demonte Coxie had his lowest numbers. 2 catches, 20 yards. His coach challenged him. Hopefully tonight, he steps up because the Argos need it. Come inside Canada, watch some Friday Night Football with us. Woo! Matthew Shinetti alongside a big bust tonight. You've got Milt Stegall, Davis Sanchez, Enoch Mwamba, but let's give a big welcome to Dominic Ryan.
Hold on, let me get my seat up a little bit.
Let's go through the resume.
I still think I got about 3 more inches on it.
Everybody's got 4 inches on at least on Davis. Let's go ahead.
Talking about here.
Let's go through the resume very quickly. CFL All-Star, 3-time 1,000-yard receiver, and he decided on his off week to spend it with us. Welcome, Dominic. Usually you and I are seeing each other on the sidelines, man. It's good to see you on here. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I felt it was time for me to come on the panel, give y'all some help, man. You know I'm just saying, give a little young pizzazz to the crew.
Little facelift, huh? Little facelift. All right, looking good, looking good. I like it.
Just make sure everything at the back of the bus over there is going okay. Davis and Milk getting too close together.
We're good.
Now let's go right to Edmonton, though, because we've got Tom Gazzola. And usually, Tom, when the weather is wet and cloudy, I'm on the sidelines and having to go ahead and hide from all that precipitation. But you're at Commonwealth Stadium. What's it looking like out there today?
Yeah, my turn, Matthew. It is 12 degrees right now, cloudy. There might be rain rolling in. It was raining all day. We're bundled up. It's country night. I don't know if people here are going to have as much fun as you guys are in the studio there with Dom Rhymes, but yeah, it's going to be country tough, and both teams are looking to do that as well. But conditions could play a factor. This is another game where the Elks are at home, and the weather could be something that affects both teams. I mean, we had that weather delay, an hour and 15 minutes a couple of weeks ago against Hamilton. You're at the stadium. All of a sudden, Andre Proulx comes out and says, we have lightning in the area, weather delay. Everybody's looking around going, where is this lightning? And then sure enough, about a half hour later, it really starts to roll in, and then the rain and the further delay and the waiting and getting set for the rest of the game. So it's just been one of those summers here in Edmonton where it just seems like the Elks can't catch a break weather-wise, which could affect the way both teams play the game. I know talking to Jalen Garnes, he says, hey, if it's wet out there, maybe that forces Nick Arbuckle to put the ball on the ground, and we can get after the Argos run game and take away the pass game. And I know the pass game for the Argos is a big thing. And then with the Elks, they obviously want to get the run game going because Cody Fajardo aired it out last week in Montreal, as we saw, but it was the run game that did struggle. They did find ways to get the ball to Justin Rankin as well, 88 yards, but mostly through the air for him.
Yeah, Tom, it's that comeback from Cody Fajardo to Keon Julian Grant to finally get that connection has now breathed some new life into Edmonton's season. Even though they're at 2-6, you think conceivably tonight they get a win, boys, and all of a sudden the complexion changes because even though we're just at the halfway mark, the crossover is in play with the Lions at 4-5. The Edmonton can't claw back tonight, but really, if you're looking at the basement right now and you're the Argos, irrespective of the fact that Ottawa had that late loss last night and couldn't get the comeback done in Winnipeg, the Argos need a win because, to be quite honest, when you heard Ryan Dinwiddie's comments last week, he was very, very, very brutally honest about his team. I was there, and he shared some very, very honest thoughts with the media.
I just told him I'm not going to quit on them, you know, and I don't think those guys quit on us, but I think we got some pretenders in the building, right, like to talk a big game and don't show up on game day. So when, you know, after I got done speaking, said, you know, similar message, we just don't have enough dogs, man. We got guys that I said, look, when we walk in the building, you know, I mean, we all leave country from the United States, come up here, and we have Canadians that leave from different provinces come up here. Guys, we sacrifice a lot to win football games, and if you don't love it, let me know. I know I love it, and I ain't going to quit.
This has been a running theme for Ryan Dinwiddie, boys, since the start of the season. He's been talking about, even with all of the Argos changes and the injuries that they've had, and certainly the Chad Kelly cloud hanging over them as he recovers from his broken leg, he's been talking about this need for urgency really since like week 2. But Dom, I'll go to you first. Because you're a player, because you're keenly aware of how the media is, what did you think when you heard him call out his team, again, the defending Grey Cup champions, the way he did after last week?
Well, first I was laughing. I was in my house laughing like he really said that. But, I mean, to his point, man, you got fake tough guys in there. You know, guys that's, you know, causing penalties after the play. I mean, even when we played them week 2, you got guys that want to, you know, try to tussle with you after the play. Like, play football. Let your pads do the talking. I mean, it's fake tough guys in there. You know, you got guys that need to, say in training camp, you got guys that come in the morning, they want to get their workout in, they're like, yeah, coach, I'm ready to do this. By the time week 8, week 9 come, you don't see those guys. You're like, man, where you guys at? And, I mean, it's on the head. I mean, like you said, you're at the bottom of the standings, and, you know, it's right now, it's like the half point of the season, you need to turn things around. If you don't, I mean, hey, next month, I think people are going to be ready to go on vacation, start Christmas shopping.
Change is absolutely going to be made, and that's what happens at this point in the season. And the pressure is even greater because of the previous season, because of their champions and everything. Yeah. And they're coming into the season and high expectations, but you got to take into account this is a completely different team. And the biggest thing that for me, when I'm looking from the outside looking in, this team needs a lot more discipline. You touched on it, Dom, about the extra fights and the extra curricular activities that happens between plays. There needs to be more leadership. There needs to be more discipline in that locker room, and a lot of the times it's going to come from these guys that you're looking at right now. Like we saw Wayne McManus, you saw Cameron Judge. These guys have to step up and champion other guys as well to take the role.
You know, pro football is about results, right? So, you know, and you mentioned it, Domby, talk about the fake tough guys or guys who are, you know, acting or showing out. Everyone in the locker room knows. You know who the real tough guys are. You know who's acting. And when it comes to Ryan Dinwiddie, because of his success as a coach, I think he can say those type of things. His resume. His resume's there. So,
because of what's happened the last 4 years, 2 Grey Cups in the last 4 seasons.
And he has, I'll say this, he has a longer leash than someone who has it, and more leeway for the players, for someone that hasn't got it done, hasn't won championships, and hasn't, you know, had success. So I think it's still, that's where I take it. He has some leeway because of that.
And I'll say this, Milt, before you go. And knowing and having been in that locker room with Ryan Dinwiddie, he said it to the team before he got onto the podium and said to the media. Yeah. So he probably said even more to the guys.
Something you said, Enoch, you said it's a totally different team, but that was the case last year when they won the Grey Cup. Remember all those guys who left from free agents, they didn't sign them back, and they were still able to get it done. Maybe they just don't have the talent. Maybe he was correct saying we don't have dogs on this team. Maybe that's the case. Because I used to think with Ryan Dinwiddie, he won it with all those guys left, and he was still able to win it. Maybe they just don't have the talent right now. Maybe they just let too many veterans go, and they just don't have the dogs to get it done.
That's a lot left in the season for a coach to go ahead and lay it down the way he's been doing all season long. This is not the way the Argos thought it would go. But the one thing that you're going to want to watch tonight, if you're watching the Edmonton Elks, is Tyrell Ford, because as much as we put a lot of attention on Cody Fajardo and KL and Julian Grant, this was the guy in his pick 6 before halftime last week that really sparked that Edmonton comeback.
Mark Killam trying to make sure he can get his team on the right page.
Raise a little hell, raise a little hell, raise a little hell.
And it's picked off. What can Ford do
One of the consequences of letting go of so many key players, the Argos have been doing this kind of ring celebration tour. Royce Metier getting his 2024 Grey Cup ring from Mike Pinball Clemens. I wonder, though, if Pinball wishes he still had Metier in his secondary. But here we go. In terms of the anytime board with Cody Fajardo, that's what you're looking at right now. It's amazing how Cody Fajardo now is reminding everybody just who he is at certain points in games. And particularly last week, the amount of punishment he took against the Montreal Alouettes and those 5 sacks coming out with the wind, it shows that Fajardo is still a gamer in this league. And speaking of a gamer, here is our own Luke Wilson inside Commonwealth Stadium. Luke, I think you've had enough of a view of the erratic Canadian weather that we get in the summertime in the CFL. It might be a little precipitation tonight in Commonwealth as well. How have you seen the weather kind of impact the way that teams play over the course of the Canadian summer?
You know, it's one of those things where the better teams, the better coaches, it doesn't faze them. They come out here, doesn't matter situation, they got a mentality. Whether it's windy and cold in August or it's 100 degrees, we're here to do a job. So we'll see who can get that done tonight, because I think everyone's a little shocked. It's chilly and it's windy, and like you said, might be a little bit of rain.
Now, the one thing, you're seeing a lot more of Cody Fajardo now than you ever would have, and many of us saw in the Grey Cup a few years ago the way that he can operate, especially close to crunch time, especially when his team needs a touchdown. What did you see, especially in some of his throws last week, that you liked in Montreal?
You know, before we get to the throws, I want to talk about his mentality. The Elks had 0 rush yards going into that last drive. 0. He's had no help in the run game. Like you mentioned earlier, he's been sacked. He's been pressured. It's been crazy out here. It doesn't matter. He comes out and has a stellar drive. The throws were incredible. The decisions were incredible. The aggressiveness was unbelievable. I love the way this guy plays. Here you go. You got 53 seconds left. This is an absolute dart. This is to your running back. Look at the zone in the window he fits this in. Boom. Rips it in here. It's a great job by Rankin coming back to the ball, and the boys are hot. We're humming down the field here. Again, poised, cool, calm, collected, absolutely slung that thing in here. That's how you get the boys fired up on a 2-minute drive. Then you come in this next throw, and I thought this was the play of the game. And I understand it's not a touchdown, but when you think about how far this throw is and the window he has, it is unbelievable. Again, the moment is just never too big for this guy. And you see the arc there on the graphics, and this next view is going to be even more incredible. Look at how tight this window is. Are you kidding me right now? I'm telling you, this guy came to play ball, and I love this. Notice there's a defender right in his face. He's unfazed. It's cover 0. He knows exactly where to put the ball. Accuracy, on time, touchdown. You look at Cody Fajardo and what he's done since he's been in here. He's been an absolute spark for this Edmonton team. He's kept him in every single game. He had that drive in the game. I can't get enough of Cody Fajardo, in case you can't tell. I love the way this guy plays. He's tough. He's mentally ready to go, and I expect great things from him tonight.
Vernon Adams Jr., their new starter, and it's certainly brought an excitement and a life right now to Calgary.
BA over the top. It's completed. Clark Barnes, 65-yard bomb. Vernon Adams Jr. to the end zone. Touchdown, Calgary.
This is the Stampede Bowl, and for the very first time, we see these two organizations.
Calgary stampeding their way to a victory here against Winnipeg.
For the 2025 champions, I present to you the Stampede Bowl.
To the 20, to the 10. See you later. Kick is up. Got it. Calgary walks it off.
I know he looks like he has all the poise right now of being a broadcaster on national television, but if you just saw the way that Mr. Rhymes was smiling at that sting of the Calgary Stampeders, you can see a guy who, like his Stampeders, is feeling himself a little bit, much like your punter, who just spent the last few days with Coach Prime, Mark Facette, the backup punter for the Calgary Stampeders. He seems to have given a little souvenir, some paraphernalia to Coach Prime, who was his coach at Colorado. I'm not going to say that maybe he leveled up a little bit in his bye week. I mean, you're with, a prime rib over here in Enoch Mwamba, and your favorite guy with Chucks. But when you saw that photo, what did you think?
I mean, I think that was the coolest thing ever. I mean, we call him Money Mark because he's the type of guy. He's too smooth, got swag. He was over there with Coach Prime for 2 years, so Coach Prime gave him his little swag. So I mean, Coach Prime looked good in that Calgary Stampede hat. I mean,
yeah, he did.
It looked like he needed to come to a game or something.
It looks like he's on the bandwagon right now.
I mean the band. I mean, who wouldn't want to be on the bandwagon?
You could try to get into McMahon for that Labor Day clash against Edmonton.
I would probably get him to ride the horse, huh? I mean,
Coach Prime on quick six, that might break the internet.
And Matt, you talked about the season and how great it's going for the Calgary Stampeders. Dom, we talked preseason, and you were talking about the expectations that this team has and the potential that it had. How has it been this year playing with this man right here, Fernandez Jr., and the leadership that he brought? And you, too, as an eighth-year guy now, the leadership. Talk to me about the dynamics within the locker room and what it's going like out there in Calgary right now.
I call him MOP Adam because he's the most valuable player in this league.
Yes.
He's a franchise changer. I mean, he comes in and changes a franchise immediately. We had a great conversation coming into the offseason. We said no matter what we have to do, we're going to win this year. We're not made to be losers. Calgary Stampede are winners. They're known to be winners in this league. So why wouldn't we be winners this year? So from the start of training camp, we put the work in, and it's just it's the energy. You bring energy to young guys because that's what it is this year. It's a lot of young guys. You see young guys making plays, young talent. So you got the veteran guys that come in with great energy and just leading them guys in the right direction. You get results like this, and we keep the momentum going. You keep building. I mean, I think we got something special here. But
before the camera went on, you said to me, man, I need a championship ring. I need a Grey Cup.
I need one.
You guys are on your way, but what needs to happen during the course of this season with the defense that you have for you guys to get to the top of the hill?
Like you say, it's a marathon. We got to build character. We have to have character game. I think our last week game against Winnipeg, we was down 17. We had to claw our way back. Game-winning field goal, had to drive, and Renee, legendary GOAT, kicked the game-winning field goal. And it's games like that help build championship caliber teams, and you just keep building and feeding off of that.
Does it feel like the Stampeder way is back?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Looks like it on the field right now too.
Oh man, you know how we come, man. We CBFW.
Well, it really is showing itself now as we take a look at the sport. The fewest points allowed per game. I'm pretty sure you can see who's at the bottom of that list. But as the Calgary Stampeders go into their bye week, they sit atop of that list right now with 21.3. The Stampeders defense, they are cooking. You know who else is cooking right now as we head over to Milt and Ches for head-to-head? Cody Fajardo.
Head-to-head tonight, you're looking at a quarterback matchup, a quarterback who's been hot. You like the over for Cody Fajardo tonight at home versus the Argos?
Yeah, I do. And I know some people may question this because Toronto's pass defense is second best in the league. Well, they're second best because they're worse in run defense. And these Edmonton Elks, they're not going to run the ball. They're second worst in run attempts, so they're going to throw the ball. They have the most efficient quarterback in the CFL this year, over 76 completion rate. And also, these Toronto Argonauts, they give up the most 30-yard completions, and they're the worst as far as yards after catch. So he's going to give his receiver some opportunity to catch the ball, make some plays, so he'll definitely go over 286.5.
My reason for under, I was listening to some pressers and listening to Mark Killam talk this week. He was big on, we got to establish the run. We got to get ranking going. I believe, and I understand where you're going with this, the zone defense that Toronto plays, you have to run the ball. You have to try to stay consistent, run the ball. I think that leans into under. I think they try to lean on ranking. I think Cody goes under. Head-to-head, Milt's got the over. I'm going to under. Let's go.
And as we talked about Ross Meche getting his ring, another guy who knows what it's like to face the Argos and try to do damage to them is Javon Leake. He'll be hoping to be the spark in the special teams for Edmonton tonight.
The Leaqualizer.
Yes, sir.
CFL Fantasy is back, and this season, it's bigger than ever. More highlights, more heroes, more fantasy firepower. Challenge your friends in weekly head-to-head matchups or chase season-long bragging rights. Whether you're riding with the stars or digging up clutch sleepers, the road to glory starts with your picks. Play every week for a shot at the grand prize, a VIP trip to the 112th Grey Cup. CFL Fantasy, your team, your league, your win. Join now at gamezone.cfl.ca.
This one should give you goosebumps. Tomorrow, 3 Eastern, the Ticats, the #1 offense against one of the best teams in the league, the best team right now, the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And then after that, well, this is an interesting matchup because Montreal needs to go ahead and find their way back in the win column and get some more momentum. And the BC Lions are really feeling good about who they are after that win in Hamilton in overtime last week. And the East fans in Edmonton, maybe they're cooking something up. Maybe they're feeling a little good about themselves after that win in Montreal last week. We got to get the kiddies all jacked up. Here's Javon Leake right now with Tom Gasol.
All right, Javon, a big win last week in Montreal. What does that do for this group going into this game tonight?
It just gives us some momentum, man. Try to stack these wins, try to get another one tonight. But it was just good for us, just getting over the hump. Montreal's a really good team, man. So going there and get that win, especially for Cody, playing his old squad, that meant a lot to us, and that's just going to get our momentum going.
I know I've asked you this a couple times throughout the season, but getting the ball on the ground, how much of an emphasis is there on that tonight?
Definitely just to, just so Cody doesn't have to drop back so much, man. So we need to run the ball just so we could be a balanced offense. Try to get Cody not to take too many hits. So, that will help us a lot, man, if we could just be balanced on offense.
The weather looks okay. Maybe the rain stays away. That hasn't really happened in your home games this year. If it does get wet out here, how does that affect the game?
Man, we just got to play. In practice this week, it was raining, so we practice outside. So, we got a head start on it, but it don't affect us, man. We got a job to do, and no weather can change that. So we just got to go out here and play.
Appreciate the time, Javon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Javon Leake said it. They need a balanced attack because they want to protect Cody Fajardo. He took 5 sacks, Milt, last week. Isaac Adiemi Berglund had him 3 times. And yet, though, that's just Cody Fajardo, a student of Ricky Ray. He'll take the punishment, and he'll keep going. Is that, you think, the key to really kind of starting Edmonton's season again, just relying on a guy who's going to stand in there and take the punishment?
Without a doubt, he's giving them life. The vibe around that team has changed. The smell around that team has changed because of Cody Fajardo. Yes, the offense has gotten better, but the defense is even playing better now. Since he's been in there, they're giving up 10 less points. So Cody Fajardo has brought something to that team that's been needed this year, Chaz.
One thing, Cody is extremely patient, and this Argos defense makes you do that. Like all the defenses around the league right now, everyone's making you check down and be quick. Cody does that very well. That'll be a game of patience tonight.
He makes big throws. So every time I played Cody, he made a big throw. So he just got to keep making big throws tonight.
You touched on it, Milt. I'm looking for this defense to step it up even another level.
Always looking for the defense.
I always have, man. I always have.
Aren't you curious about him and the smell comment? What do you know that? What do you mean?
Hey, looking for the defense. Here's Cam Judd right now with Tom Gasol.
Big nose.
Cam, a big game for both teams, obviously. How do you look at responding, especially after what Ryan said after that game last week?
It's big for us to respond. Anytime you blow a lead like that, it can take a shot at your confidence. But I feel like guys responded well this week in practice, built that confidence back up, and we're ready to go out and perform for a full 60 minutes.
How much of the onus do you put on your shoulders? Second in tackles this season, one of the leaders on this team. What do you do for yourself to make sure everyone's following along?
I just try to lead by example, go hard every play and be doing my job and my assignment and make the play when it comes my way. And, I just hoping by leading by example, other guys will follow suit, which I feel they've done a pretty good job. Let a couple plays here and there, but those are the ones we're trying to get rid of, so.
Weather-wise, what do you think of this right now? This is like fall weather right now.
Yeah, it is. It's perfect weather, though. You get a little hot running around. It's nice to get cooled down instantly. So, it's a little taste of some late season weather, and it feels like got the guys excited. So I'm ready.
Appreciate the time, Cam.
All right, thank you, Tom.
Well, maybe they're excited, but Ryan Dinwiddie wants a lot more out of his team tonight. We are just minutes away from Edmonton against Toronto.